China's Double 11 shopping festival has just ended. Compared to previous years, this year's Double 11 has a low level of online discussion and an unusually cold atmosphere. Some analysts say it was the worst Double 11 in history. Double 11 refers to the large-scale promotional event held by various online shopping platforms on November 11th each year. It first originated from the Taobao Mall Promotional Day event held by Alibaba's shopping website in China on November 11th, 2009. And has now evolved into an annual shopping event for the entire industry, as well as a consumer phenomenon that affects the global retail industry. Let's take a look at some of the videos uploaded by merchants in China to see just how bad this year's shopping festival was. This year's Double 11 was really miserable. You can see that it's almost 4 o'clock now, and you can't even see a single delivery person. On the past Double 11 day, this place was crowded. The cars that came to pick up goods had to wait in line. Look at what it's like today. There are very few people. It's really frustrating. It's so hard to do business. If you don't open the door, you are afraid that you will miss the business. But when you open the door, you will find that there is no one there. Oh my God, it's so sad. To be honest, it's too difficult to do business nowadays. It's 12 o'clock in the middle of the day at the Down Market in Pinghu City, Zhejiang Province, and the business is slow. In previous years, at this time, we have been busy. The weather this year has also been disappointing. Last year at this time, it was already snowing in many places in the north, and this year everyone is still wearing short sleeves. Some businessmen say that they feel desperate and that it's too difficult to do business this year. There's no way out, guys. In the past, business was really good on Double 11, but now Double 11 is clearing the inventory. In the past, we were wondering how many new styles to prepare. What promotions are needed? Now the situation we look at, live e-commerce and TikTok live room all clearing the previous inventory, really is not a joke. It's really terrible. This year's Double 11 is very quiet. Last night was the same, and today is the most miserable. From 8 to 9 o'clock, I saw many shops with almost zero sales. Shops that sell tens of thousands and thousands of dollars a day with almost no turnover are particularly horrible. Small and medium-sized businesses are really difficult. I have 2 little red bookshops, and at the end of October there were no sales. No sales at all. Look at my previous list. This is my previous. This is now. Isn't any business state? This year's Double 11 is so slow. That is the National Carnival Shopping Festival. In the past, we all stayed in front of our computers with our mobile phones, waiting for the clock to strike 0 and went on a shopping spree. But this year, Double 11 is almost non-existent. In addition, compared to previous year's Double 11, this year's shopping festival, China's major e-commerce platforms' promotions started in mid-October, about a week earlier than last year. But until the last day of the festival, there was still little buzz on the internet. This year's Double 11 was the worst ever since the festival began. I've been in e-commerce business since university, and as of this year, I've experienced 6 Double 11s, and my most intuitive feeling is that the ambience of online shopping is getting worse every year. In previous years, as long as the day is approaching, you will see all kinds of advertisements. Almost all the youngsters are planning to welcome Double 11 by slamming their orders on shopping platforms. However, did you feel it this year? Business is particularly slow, and people's enthusiasm for shopping this festive season has completely dropped. What's going on with Double 11 this year? Just yesterday, during the Jingdong e-commerce event promotion, Jingdong's warehouse temporarily announced the event's cancellation. A lot of people are already on their way. When they get the message, they have to go back the way they came. We can't believe this year's Double 11 will be so miserable. Looking back over previous years, the Jingdong warehouse is always short of staff. In the past, when it was busy, workers had to work 16 hours. What's going on this year? Is it because people's consumer power has declined? Even the most popular Jingdong warehouse isn't as popular as it used to be. Will it be more difficult for us in the future? Not only that, but Chinese e-commerce Alibaba announced that it was canceling its Double 11 party this year. No more star-studded parties, no more smoldering price wars. Many Chinese netizens are wondering if this is the end of an era of consumerism that was once a source of great joy for countless people. This year's Double 11 was cold and quiet. Bread was not sold, hot and sour noodles were not sold, snacks were sold laboriously, no one bought cooked food, few people drank beverages, and few people bought fruits. We can't blame the public for not buying them, we dare not buy them even if we want to. You have added too many preservatives and colors, all of which are faked by means of technology. Even though some big brands claim that their ingredient lists are clean, it makes us even more nervous because even the ingredient lists may not be true nowadays. If we buy it and eat it, the rest of the money will go to the hospital. If you don't believe me, go out and take a look. There was no one on the street, no one in the shopping malls or supermarkets. After Donald Trump comes to power in the United States, business will only get harder for e-commerce merchants in China. I just went to this factory and talked to the owner. He said that he doesn't dare produce any more products in the second half of the year, and now he can only take orders from OEMs to keep the business going so that the factory can afford to pay rent and support its workers. Moreover, this production line is not even fully operational. What is the situation now? Many garment factories have closed in the second half of the year, and the remaining ones don't dare to produce new goods. So you will find that no matter which platform, TikTok or WeChat, you basically do not see any new styles, and the variety of goods is getting lower and lower. In the past, we used to see new styles all the time, and a new style could be produced every half a month. Now, this is no longer the case, and many factories are on the verge of closing down, and they dare not stock up their goods or design new styles. So why is this year's Double 11 shopping festival such a strange phenomenon? Let's listen to the experts' analysis. We all have no money in our pockets now. Not only do we have no money in our pockets, but we will also have no money in the future. If I had no money now and expected to have money in the future, I would still dare to spend money now. I have no money now and will have no money in the future, so why should I spend money? I have to be careful with my spending. Wang He also believes that the downturn in consumption in China highlights the fact that the Chinese economy has entered a long winter, and that Chinese people have very pessimistic expectations for the future. We don't know when this winter will end or how cold it'll be, so the whole society has a very uncertain mentality. People are not optimistic, and now the domestic and foreign views on the trend of China's economy have reached a consensus. The general view that China's economy is already very bad. A survey conducted by Bain & Company in the US found that as many as 77% of the 3,000 Chinese consumers who participated in the survey plan to cut back or maintain the level of spending on last year's Double 11. Moreover, China's economic problems are rooted in politics. Nowadays, people are very dissatisfied with the status quo, so they won't spend money and won't have children. Young people don't want to do anything, so they are rebelling against the CCP in disguise. The whole Chinese society has entered a state where the people are living without happiness. So what's the next step in living without happiness? The next step is for everyone to rise up, and the silent underground magma is going to explode. The whole social situation in China may be facing a sudden change. At the same time, China is facing an era of universal salary reduction, and all sectors, including civil servants, are not immune. The continuous fiasco of the real estate companies has further brought consumer confidence to the bottom. China's economy is in what's called an unemployment deflation, because rising unemployment reduces income and purchasing power, and it also reduces consumer confidence. So, consumers are shrinking and cutting back on food and clothing, and then businesses are also affected in terms of revenue and profitability, which is going down. When enterprises are affected, they will either lay off staff or go bankrupt, which will in turn affect households and consumers. Eng Kalung also said that China's employment and consumer confidence problems, as well as the real estate crisis, the withdrawal of foreign businessmen, the loss of export orders, fiscal and financial problems, etc., all show that China's economy has lost momentum and is very difficult to turn around. As China's economy isn't developed, domestic demand isn't enough, and it must rely on a large amount of external demand. However, Beijing has misguided the situation. The so-called rise of a great nation has led to increasing isolation in the international arena and a drastic reduction in external demand. Now that China has not yet crossed the middle-income trap, it must still rely on foreign demand to boost its own economy and employment. The real driving force is exports. Therefore, Xi Jinping has decoupled from the US economy to drive out the US influence, which has come too early, and then he will pay the price. Finally, let's take a look at the latest data released by the National Bureau of Statistics of the Communist Party of China on November 12th. The official Manufacturing Purchasing Managers Index fell to 49.5 in October from 50.2 in September, below the 50 economic threshold. China's Industrial Producer Price Index fell by 2.6% year-on-year in October, an increase of 0.1%, while the Consumer Price Index fell by 0.2% year-on-year following July's negative growth after 2 months, and China's economy is once again in deflation. Weak domestic demand and oversupply are considered to be the main reasons for China's deflation, and dealing with the ongoing deflation will be a serious challenge for the Beijing government. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with your friends. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.